There's an old saying that home is where the heart is. Well, it's also in most places in the world where the hearth is. It's where families gather to eat, talk, laugh, live their lives. And we've learned, though, that there's a dark side to this warm domestic tableau. Millions of people every year, mostly women and children, get sick or die from breathing in the toxic smoke emitted by dirty stoves and open fires. We know that there are other consequences, some of which have already been mentioned, because it is mostly women who spend the 5 hours on average a day gathering fuel in order to start the fires to cook on these inefficient stoves that takes them away from other work or going to school, and in many places exposes them to danger. It's almost hard for us to imagine, and I appreciated Radha's idea that we would have people walk around with a load of wood on your back. We decided that wasn't a good idea, but it would have certainly brought home to all of us what it's like trudging miles from home for hours, searching for something to burn, carrying that heavy load on your back, sometimes along with your children, standing for hours over the stove as the smoke fills your lungs and your environment. I have personally been in some of these small homes across the world. The acrid air, the smoke, has just been overwhelming to me, and I was just going in and coming quickly out. The World Health Organization considers indoor air pollution to be one of the most serious global health risks we face, and just last week they revised their guidelines to make the threat even clearer. In fact, it is estimated to be the 4th leading cause of death in the world. It doesn't get the headlines, it doesn't appear on the nightly news, but every single hour of every single day, it is poisoning women and children, with the result of the deaths that number 4 million. And these dirty stoves and open fires release so-called super pollutants like black carbon and methane that contribute significantly to climate change. So when we started off to tackle this challenge, we believed, number one, it was a health challenge and an environmental challenge, but it also, if approached correctly, could be an economic opportunity. And that is the idea behind the Alliance. Through a deliberative and inclusive process, the Alliance has created standards, established goals, helped distribute already more than 20 million clean cook stoves to households in need. We are on track to meet the ambitious goal of 100 million families by 2020, but 3 billion people in the world cook their meals every single day on inefficient, dirty stoves or open fires. So the challenge remains significant. That's where the market comes in. We have to redouble our efforts to get more clean and efficient products in the hands and homes of families everywhere. We do have to keep researching and developing the right technologies, identifying the safest stoves, the cleanest fuels, figuring out the way to combine those, and they have to be affordable, readily available, accessible, and attractive enough that people want to buy them. They want them in their homes. You know, if we're going to create a market, then we have to have choices depending upon where you live in the world, the altitude, the climate, the kind of fuel that you can have access to. And as we were looking at the display outside, maybe introduce some characteristics like different colors, something that is going to attract certain consumers. So the Alliance is recruiting high-quality distributors and building a robust supply chain. We're launching awareness campaigns to help educate people about the dangers of their current cooking and help them transition to cleaner solutions. Now, being market-driven, therefore, means understanding that every marketplace is different. And we've learned that success, because this has been tried before, isn't just about having that best technology. Stoves have been passed out in some places and quickly become like treadmills in many houses, where they're used to have clothes hung over them instead of any exercise routine. And so we have to find the most culturally appropriate products that fit the not only unique cooking patterns, but the aesthetics of different societies across the globe. So we have to listen to people. We have to include them as partners in designing the equipment they will actually use. In other words, we can't take a one-stove-fits-all approach. Now, we have actually learned a lot about this. We have a great catalog with performance results from more than 100 different stove models. Alliance testing centers are gathering data about which stoves work best where, which in turn helps manufacturers continually improve quality and design. I have seen how some of these new models of cook stoves work and how the women using them respond to them. And it's time for us to scale up our effort. So thank you. Thank you for the commitments that you heard today, and thank you for the commitments you are making today. I'm delighted that more countries are signing up, that there's more engagement by governments. This is a critical issue, and more interest than ever from the private sector. Today you will hear major new commitments from Deutsche Bank, Bank of America, Equity Bank, Calvert, and Bix Fund, among others, coupled with financing from developing finance institutions like our own OPIC in this country, and guarantees from development institutions like USAID. This will accelerate our efforts and really help us not only to meet our goals, but even hopefully to exceed them. So I hope others will join us, and we will continue to pick up the momentum. I'm delighted that as part of the Clinton Foundation efforts, we have the Clinton School of Public Service at the University of Arkansas in Little Rock, and it's the first school of public service in the world to give a degree in public service. And of course, the students have to do their practicum, their community work. And we've had students from the Clinton School going to Bolivia, India, and Zanzibar to teach families how to use clean cook stoves. And they all come back thrilled by their experience because of the delight that the women they work with experience in having this new approach to cook their food and create more time in their lives, less drudgery, less going out looking for the fuel. It's just such a win-win for everyone. So here in the United States, we're about to celebrate our Thanksgiving. And I think it's especially appropriate that we would be holding this conference and this commitment meeting shortly before our own Thanksgiving, because there's a lot we can give thanks for in our own lives, but also for this alliance. And we can rededicate ourselves to doing all that we can to help more people in more places breathe more easily, work more safely, and live healthier lives. So thank you all very much.
Get them out of that situation. They're doing it for themselves. And then they have, practical action, and they just created all these amazing ways to get them out of that situation, So that's the hopeful part and the amazing part. They created these centers where people can go and use their bathrooms, and they can, with that waste, they use to, to create biogas, and then the biogas, they can cook with the biogas. And I love how spiritual they are, and how hopeful, and how trusting, and they're just joyous, and they're just happy, and they're focused on the solution.
il passe là dans tout ça là, et puis il a dit pour une avec votre déchet, puis nous pas c'est parce que même les toilettes à tomber dans ça, les mêmes jours, les qu'il va là, c'est le cas. Pour casser toute matière, peut-être les gens avec une toilette et puis.
C'est la première fois que vous prenez une chance avec nous dans la zone. Mais on a demandé que ça a fait assez pour nous lier nous-mêmes pour nous garder le propre. Que tout pas dans nous garder le propre, ça permet que vous soyez capable d'avancer.
Badaj a mon aimé puis t'arrêter camper, bah yo continuer.